Rotunda is a tribute paid to distinguished Americans. Sicknick was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the hours-long attack at the Capitol waged by an angry mob. He died the next day. He will be buried later today at Arlington National Cemetery. First, it was his personal account. Now Twitter is suspending Mike Lindell's MyPillow company account. The shutdown comes after that account issued what appears to be threats against Twitter's CEO, Jack Dorsey, and reiterating unproven claims of election fraud.
It's not clear if Lindell himself was behind the tweets in question. His personal account was permanently suspended a week ago on Monday. A heart-wrenching story out of the Twin Cities. An 11-year-old Minnesota boy who was shot 5 times was able to tell police officers before he died that his mother's boyfriend shot and killed him, his mother, and his sister. 26-year-old Takeith Jones has been charged with 3 counts of intentional murder in the killings on Saturday of 30-year-old Desandria Wallace, her 13-year-old daughter LaPortia, and her 11-year-old son Jacoby. Criminal charges filed yesterday indicate that Jones told police that he shot and killed the 3 to save them.
Minnesota's top law enforcement officials are worried about security for the trial of Derek Chauvin after Republicans balked at the proposal to have the state help pay for it. Chauvin is one of 4 former Minneapolis police officers charged in the death of George Floyd and is the first person scheduled for trial. To help boost security, the House Public Safety and Criminal Justice Reform Committee voted along party lines to advance a new $35 million fund to reimburse various law enforcement agencies. Some Republicans complained that it would take money from greater Minnesota to bail out Minneapolis. Law enforcement officials from outside the Twin Cities want guarantees that they will be paid for overtime, lodging, and other costs of the assistance if they're called in to help.
It is now 8 minutes before the top of the hour. We want to get a check of our forecast. Not too bad out there right now, but big changes coming. Good morning, Lisa.
Yeah, the day is here. First alert weather day for today and into Thursday. And those changes do come this afternoon and this evening as a cold front blasts through. Ahead of that, more of the same for one more day. So if you've been loving this, enjoy it while you can. We're talking fog, low clouds, gloomy kind of weather here again this morning. We're looking toward downtown Fargo right now. Can't see it very well because of the fog. There's also a little bit of blowing snow out there too to watch out for. But travel today, well, for the morning drive, we're talking about fog, reducing your visibility, and some wind that could create a little bit of drifting across, especially those east-west roads, and some slick spots on the roads. We'll show you in a moment. So want to watch out for that for your morning drive. Then we kind of get a break midday, though we're still dealing with the wind. And then heading into the afternoon, here comes that cold front. We're talking a mixed bag of precipitation and then changing over to snow as we head into the nighttime hours tonight. So you'll want to watch throughout the day, and you can keep an eye on that radar on your Valley News Live First Alert weather app. So looking at your road conditions in eastern North Dakota, very colorful. We're talking purple across much of the region, indicating that we've got some snow covered or at least some patchy snow on the roads. In yellow around Valley City and in the FM Metro, that's some icy patches on the road surface. And that light blue color up north of Grand Forks along I-29 and back over toward Jamestown and northwestern parts of our viewing area, that's some frost. So all indications that you might run into some slick conditions in eastern North Dakota, and a similar scenario setting up in Minnesota too for your morning drive. So you'll want to ease off the gas pedal and of course lay off the cruise control here this morning. Looking at your visibility, we're seeing some visibility that's lower, but no indications of dense fog right now. So that's some good news, but it's a sign that there's moisture in the air and that we could be maybe running into a patch of some lower visibility or again, some of those slick spots to start off. That wind's coming in out of the south. We've had gusts up to the low 30-mile-per-hour range this morning. Currently a gust to 28 in Grand Forks. And temperatures are at least mild. One last day of this. We're looking at teens and some 20s right now. Above 0. We'll have negative signs in front of this in the coming days. So enjoy this while you can. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies and fog. And here's a look at the precipitation associated with that cold front just now moving into northwestern North Dakota here this morning, and that will continue to trek eastward from there. So your bus stop planner this morning, mild, but kids will want to watch out for some icy patches on the sidewalks with some fog as well. And then into the afternoon, pretty nice as far as temperatures are concerned. Some low 30s, a little breezy, so there will be a wind chill factor. Sunrise, by the way, at 7:49. getting earlier and earlier, and something maybe to hold on to as we've got the Arctic blast coming our way. Overnight and into Thursday, of course, we're talking about that snow, a couple of inches possible. Combine that with some wind, and we've got some travel issues, and your Thursday morning commute will likely be impacted in a lot of spots. And then, of course, the Arctic area you'll want to be prepared for, and we'll continue to alert you about that as it gets closer.
Sounds great. Thank you, Lisa. New this morning, the Dilworth-Glendon Felton School District has a new superintendent. The school board offered the job to Shannon Hunstead, who currently serves as superintendent in Lancaster, Minnesota.
A contract is expected to be approved at the February 8th school board meeting, and Hunstead is expected to start on July 1st. We are going to hear about plans to improve public safety across Minnesota later today. Governor Tim Walz is holding a news conference this afternoon to highlight the state aid for emergencies account budget proposal to improve public safety.
And just after that, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is visiting a Spanish immersion program to update us on the state's efforts to prioritize vaccination of child care providers.
3 local school districts in the FM Metro are providing new updates when it comes to returning to school grounds safely.
The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live this morning to give us an update. Okay, it sounds like we're having some problems connecting to Brian this morning, so we'll see if we can reconnect to him. Otherwise, as we move on this morning, the federal government is ramping up its COVID-19 vaccination efforts amid growing concerns about new coronavirus strains. Next week, it will begin distributing doses to pharmacies across the country.
Senate Democrats say they'll pass the White House's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package without any Republican support if necessary. GOP lawmakers have proposed an alternative measure that would cost $618 billion. But both President Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen say that's just not enough.
The Minnesota Court of Appeals is denying a request by 2 American Indian tribes to shut down construction. That's of the crude oil pipeline in northern Minnesota. Opponents of the Enbridge Line 3, led by the Red Lake Band of Chippewa and White Earth Band of Ojibwe, say construction would destroy land that is protected by treaty and would violate cultural and religious rights.
Enbridge says the petition had no merit and didn't recognize the meticulous review of the project. Other cases seeking to halt Line 3 remain in the appeals court. 1 snowmobile and a trailer stolen in Moorhead have now been recovered from a South Fargo apartment parking lot, but police are still looking for a second snowmobile.
Police say the thefts happened sometime between January 29th and February 1st from a parking lot near 8th Street and 30th Avenue South. Call police if you spot this black snowmobile in this photo. Americans are reporting the highest stress level since the COVID pandemic began. One survey of more than 2,000 adults showed stress levels in January at 5.6 out of 10, the highest since April of last year.
People are most worried about the future of the nation, the pandemic, and political unrest. 2/3 of respondents said the number of issues America is facing is overwhelming. Experts say if you're feeling stressed out, take a break from the news, your social media, or friends who are just negative, and practice some self-care throughout the day. Alaska native Erin Letzring is the winner of the 2021 Bear Grease Sled Dog Marathon on Minnesota's North Shore. And she is the first woman to place first in that 300-mile race.
It was a victory separated by mere moments. Letzring was neck and neck with last year's champion, Ryan Reddington, throughout the last leg. But she says her dogs just had a little more gas left in them.
And now the new question, what dog food is she feeding those dogs that they had just that extra bit of energy to go into it?
I love watching that. So
yeah, it's always a fun thing to do. Those pups, they deserve the win as well. We now want to get the answer to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today, 25% of us have stayed in a relationship because they liked this about their partner.
That's maybe why I love watching those dog sled races as well. The answer to this one, the dog, which makes sense. Sometimes you get connected to the pup more than
to man's best friend, more than the man himself.
Remember, you can play along every weekday morning by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember, the Valley Today rolls on. Join us for more live, up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up on the Fargo CW.